there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel, where we go over books and bookish things. All you lovelies from Patreon. It is the end of August, so we are doing our book club book, which is Fat Witch Summer by Lizzie Ives. This is a YA coming of age, finding your own path kind of a book. Let me close the door because the cats will be in and out otherwise. Okay. So this is a YA coming of age, get the gang together, road trip kind of a story. The main twist to that being our main character here, Thrash, the other three don't like her at all. Like they only just met on the first page of the book. One second. Do you want in, kitten? Pick a side. Sorry, life with cats. So I have my notes here. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. I would love to hear how y'all ranked it. I have my notes, YA, coming of age, not like other girls vibes. My limited summary without any spoilers is Thrash is a plus-size teen who just got her witch powers. She's a fish out of water in her own hometown. To make matters worse, her mom is a big to-do in the region. She's given the gift of glamour by her mother, the one gift she doesn't want, so she takes off with some witches to steal a better one without telling her mother. It's a very thin plot. The main point of view is Thrash, our title character. She's the Fat Witch in the Fat Witch Summer. She wears all black because it's slimming, and she won't go swimming in a bathing suit. She won't strip down to her undies to go swimming with her friends, with the people who she thinks are her friends, because she's so self-conscious. Okay. But all we ever really get is the author telling us she's self-conscious. We don't get her pulling down her shirt and readjusting her clothes and doing the self-soothe hug that actual people who are actually self-conscious do. And I don't know enough about the author, about Lizzie Ives. This is her debut novel, so I'm trying to be nice, because putting a baby out into the world is hard work. It's really hard work. But this one, at least for me, wasn't it. The friends that Thrash has don't treat her very well. It has kind of an all's well that ends well kind of a vibe. Thrash learns to be confident, but I feel like everything just got glossed over. So yeah, in this universe, you have an innate power called a knack, and then you have a gifted power, which is the gift. The gift is a ritual spell that you have to go through that mutes your natural abilities, and you can do lots of things with your natural abilities. One of the girl has the gift of taste. Like, she can taste in the air when danger's near, and she's like, oh, my power's useless. I'm like, that's pretty useful if you can tell when danger's near just by the air tasting funny. One of them, if she throws something over her shoulder that's natural, that she's been carrying for a while, like a cigarette or a stick, it'll guide her on the way that she's supposed to be going. Also very, very cool. One of the girls is half mermaid, so that puts kinks into the road trip, because they have to stop at like a saltwater pool, and they have to stop at like a lake and things, because she's part mermaid. She needs to do this. And our main character breaks things with her emotions. When her emotions run wild, she breaks things. She shatters mirrors. She shatters mirrors. She breaks glasses, like glass and windows and stuff. The review on the back is a fantasy that offers compelling world building and rich character arcs. Ives turns the coming of age road trip trope on its magical head. That's from Kirkus Reviews. And she tries really hard to do that, in fact. But I don't think she is successful, at least not in the way that she probably hoped she would be with this. The book does come with its own study questions, with its own discussion questions, so we'll get to those a little bit later. But I have my own questions that I thought would be interesting to discuss. Describe the book in 3 words. If Dream Girl counts as 1 word, I would say Manic Pixie Dream Girl. That might be 4 words, depending on spelling and spacing. But I always, in my head, Dream Girl is always 1 word. So, yeah, it's favorite part, least favorite part. My favorite part were the interludes. Like I was saying before, the main point of view is Thrash, but we do pop into other characters' heads. They don't feel unique, so I'm not sure if it was intended to actually be a pop into their head, or if it was meant to be like an actual change in who we're dealing with. But we have interludes where we go after her mother, who's the big to-do in their region, and her familiar, who's a horse. And I really liked all of the scenes with the horse, because the horse is just over it. Is like, yeah, no, this is your kid. You've got to treat them better. Because her mom has the gift of glamour, and everything about the mom is glamour. Like she has her skin flawless and her hair full and luscious, and she's thinner and more toned and more muscular, but only not too muscular. And she wants her fat daughter to be just the same. And it's like, okay, so we could get some good conflict going. We could get some conflict going with this. We can build on this. We can grow from this. And we don't really get that. That when Thrash is like, no, I don't want the gift. I don't want any gift. I want to embrace my natural magic. Her mom just backs off. And so does the higher authority, the justice, the named witch, who's like, think of her as like the ultimate police officer for the country. Like the country's police officer is after them. And she's like, I'm going to reveal it to the world. And she's like, yeah, okay. I was like, this literally is turning all of magic on its head, and no one cares anymore? No one cares anymore? Really? Like, it screams sequel in the worst way, because we're left with so many hanging threads that are ever so slightly connected together, but not really tied off. Like, the threads aren't tied off. They're just gently resting on each other. My least favorite part was probably the ending, because the ending is that she and her girlfriends are like in bathing suits, and she's like, I'm in a bathing suit. And I was like, cool, I guess. It didn't feel like enough. It didn't feel enough, really, for me. And it just frustrated me, honestly, because it was like, they could have gone any direction with this, and this is what they chose. Any direction at all, and this is what they chose. Okay, the big to-do at the end of the book, the big ending, the big last page reveal is that she's in a bathing suit at the beach. Like, it would be one thing if she was like really overweight, but she's just a little plump. It would be one thing if people mocked her actively, besides her mother, who doesn't even mock her. She just wants her to put herself together more and wear something other than black, which just sounds like a normal mom thing. Nobody makes fun of her for her size. Nobody treats her any differently because of her size. At no point are they're in a flying car, and at no point do the other girls say, hey, you can't be in the flying car, we're running low on magic. If you're in the car too, it's gonna drop out of the sky because we're too. No one's doing anything. There's no antagonizing of the main character towards her weight, which would be great, if it wasn't set up as this big thing that has to be overcome, that she's so self-conscious, and I get that. Teenage girls are self-conscious, and there's not always a rhyme or a reason to it. But in this case, there should be something to support it. Like, there's nothing to support that she feels insecure about her body. Nothing there to support that she feels insecure about her body at all. And there's really nothing there to support that her mom is upset with the way she looks. Her mom seems to genuinely love her. She's just got different priorities than Thrash does. Like, she likes to look a certain way, so she uses her magic and magic powers to do that. And that's fine. But she never says, oh, you're just too fat, Thrash. You need to go on a diet. We're not going to have mashed potatoes for dinner. Like, there's none of that. And it's just so frustrating and confusing, because this has to have come from somewhere. And it does have the dead mom trope. She has two moms, and one of her moms is dead. Cancer, I think. And the other mom didn't say, whatever you do, lose weight, or say anything. Her other mom was incredibly supportive, and it just feels unearned as an ending, because at no point does anybody treat her differently because of her size. There's no literary reason for her to be this upset about her size. Like, it feels like the author was trying to say something instead of having something to say, if that makes sense. Like, she was trying so hard to say something and to make something deep and meaningful that she forgot about the character and how the character should feel and act and be. And it's so frustrating. If I could invite any one of the characters to dinner, who would I and why? Definitely the horse, because the horse was cool. I'd sit there and eat apples with him and just chill, because he seems like the most likable character is the damn horse. What surprised you most? Honestly, it surprised me how little I liked this book. Like, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I had to force myself to finish this book. It was hard. The characters don't seem convincing or believable. I don't relate to their lives or their ambitions. No. What would I have done differently? I probably wouldn't have taken off with three teenagers. Even as a teenager, I wouldn't have taken off with three teenagers that I don't know to go on a cross-country road trip with people I don't know. Like, that just seems incredibly stupid. And yeah. What do you think the author was trying to say? I think the author was trying to cash in on the body positivity that's sweeping romance novels right now, that we have so many, like, full-figured heroines in romance novels. And I think she wanted to write a YA book that cashes, without the romance aspect, that cashes in on that fuller-figured main character energy that's going on right now. And normally I love that. Like, Shipwrecked is great. I love Shipwrecked. I got that one as an arc, I believe. It's somewhere in my reviews, and that was great. The character was doing her best to be confident, but people did make comments and people did say things and do things, and it made sense. It felt earned that she's like, no, I'm fabulous. Like, she had to keep telling herself and keep believing in herself that she was worthy of things. And at no point does this character act any way other than entitled. So how can you be so insecure and so entitled? It seems like the two are diametrically opposed. And ugh. Whereas I satisfied with the ending? No. Because the scene before the last scene is the Justice and her mom are having, like, coffee together, and she's like, I guess we'll meet again sometime, the Justice says. And it's like, yeah, bet, in the next book, which I will not be reading. Which scene stuck with me? Probably Probably when her mom tries to confront her in private, like she takes off without telling her mom, and she steals the ritual kit to give her her gift. And her mom catches up with her in the middle of the night and is like, "Hey, people are after you. Just give me the gift back. Come quietly. We can brush this all under the rug. I will take care of you. I'm your mother. I love you. I support you. We'll do anything you want to do. Just please come home. Stop this because you're playing with fire." And if that's who the mother is, it didn't ring as any way other than sincere. If that's who the mother is, why is this daughter acting this way? Like she's on this big, oh, my mom doesn't understand me, my mom doesn't love me, my mom doesn't this, my mom doesn't that. And her mom is literally falsifying police records so that her daughter doesn't get in trouble. Like she didn't report that she stole the gift and looked inside the magic book to see what it was. Like she kept that to herself. That the authorities figured that out on their own. And like if the mom, despite her flaws and despite her own personal insecurities, is that nurturing and that loving, where is the conflict that forces her out of the house at 2 a.m? Like seriously. My opinion of the book is low. The writing is fine. The author does have a very unique voice. Unfortunately, it's so unique that the characters all sound the same. I would not read another book by this author. The plot is not well developed. It's not very believable. The scenes feel forced. It feels like they're cramming in different things because there's a magical resistance movement, and then there's like a hippie commune of magic users. Hold on, I've got to let my cat out again. In or out? In or out? Sorry about that. He is out of the room, so it's just us now. Yeah, this book, I don't think it was good. Would I read this again? No. As for the study questions that came with the book, which to me is a weird choice. In the opening of Fat Witch Summer, Thrash lifts her love-hate relationships. How do Thrash's strong opinions affect her relationships with others? Do you relate to her love-hate list? Let me go back to the beginning. Love-hate list. I'm honestly not remembering the love-hate lists from the beginning of the book. So it didn't make that much of an impact on me, I guess. When Thrash first meets Kreska, the mean girl defies Thrash's expectations by being genuine and kind. How does this early interaction shape the novel's message about beauty and the gift of glamour? Well, she's not genuine and kind. She's manipulative, and she's vindictive. She basically throws a hissy fit when things don't go her way. I don't think that that's kind and genuine. Like, I get what the author was trying to say, that she's the mean girl, which there's not much to support that, because she's pleasant to be around as far as Thrash is concerned. Thrash gets her gift, and she's like, oh, that's so cool. And she's like, after you. Like, okay, you forgot your hat, which is also a purse in this universe. And she's like, thank you, I have to go. And then she gets invited to her party that she got her gift, and she's like, hey, we've got a plan to run away, you want to come? Like, she's not a mean girl. She doesn't like make snide comments. She doesn't talk again. She has an opportunity to talk about the main character's weight, and she doesn't. And it's just Thrash has strong opinions about the Lunas when she first meets them. Are these impressions correct? How does Thrash's view of the girls change over the course of the story? Over the course of the story, like she starts out by thinking that they're too cool for her to hang out with, that they're too cool for school. Um and then she's like, "No, these are my best friends. They hate me and everything about me and I hate them, but we're best friends because of this road trip." And it's just very forced. It's very forced. Thrash often clashes with her mother, Asmara. What factors put a strain on their mother-daughter relationship? Can you relate to their struggles? I guess the fact that the mother doesn't listen when she says, "I want not glamour for my gift. I want the gift of sight. I want to be able to see it into the future." And that's what her dead mom had, and saw that she was going to get cancer and then just didn't tell anybody. So our main character can't have the gift of sight because someone else had it and they did a stupid, selfish thing trying to protect others, and so you can't have it either. Which it felt contrived, but I also kind of saw the mother's point of view. Aside from that, the mother was very supportive and trying to do her best, like actively trying to do her best the whole story. In the 13 states, oh, there's 13 states in the US because it's a witchy number. Mothers traditionally choose the gifts which represent maiden, glamour, mother, growth, or crone, sight. How do feminine expectations and gender roles influence the world of the 13 states? How do they influence Asmara and Thrash differently? I did not realize that they were supposed to be a stand-in for the triple moon goddess. The allergies, they're kicking my butt. I did not get that they were supposed to be maiden, mother, crone. Okay, I guess. But that paints women in a very poor light, that young women just want to look good. And then as you're a mother, you grow, and then crone sight, like I get that, the wisdom, but it just, I don't know. I don't like that. A recurring theme of the novel is liking versus loving. Thrash mentions liking but not loving what she sees in the mirror. Lately, she worries Asmara loves her but doesn't like her. How are the paths to self-love, familial love, and friendship alike? How do they differ? This feels like a bad Girl Scout badge. Like a Girl Scout badge, one of the Girl Scout badges I earned when I was in high school. That was like, keep a journal of all your feelings. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm a depressed, isolated teenager who has almost no friends. This is going to be great reading later on. Like, I think it's great that she knows her mother loves her. And her mother doesn't like her in the sense that she doesn't know her. Like, I feel like the mom, especially in that scene where she comes to her and says, "Hey, let me help you fix this. This was stupid. Let me help you," was her way of trying to get to know her daughter more and trying to pull that love into like and be both. And Thrash just throws it in her face. The book features interludes narrated by Asmara's familiar Tempest. What do you think this outside perspective brings to the story? It was refreshing because I couldn't stand the teenage girls and the horse was the best character. How do Kreska, M, and Saki each struggle with their body image? How do they overcome their insecurities over the course of the story? Kreska, I think, is the one with the magic rings that make her look slimmer, I think. Which, I mean, okay. She has magic rings that cast glamour on her so she looks the way she wants to. And honestly, that's fine. I don't think that's her struggling with body image. I think that's just like when I was in high school, I liked to wear army pants and flip flops like Katie Heron from Mean Girls, except I usually wore like a really preppy top and then like a big long belt. Like it was kind of a poor man's version of Avril Lavigne for someone who can't tie a tie. Like that was my aesthetic, and I didn't dress that way because I didn't like myself. I didn't dress like it was just what I was into as a teenager, and my ring light is dying. Um, M and Saki, one of them, I could not tell these two apart. One of them's the mermaid, the other one's the one who can taste things. And like they didn't seem to have any body issues at all. Like one of them had the power to glamour herself as her natural power, and she didn't because she just didn't feel like it. It's like, okay, cool. And the other one's like half mermaid. Like she is upset that she's half mermaid because it's inconvenient, but she didn't seem to have any body issues. So that just doesn't make sense. Thrash and Kreska changed their hair with and magic respectively. Do you think both of them are rebelling against or falling prey to conventional beauty standards? How do you feel about magical versus non-magical body modifications, or versus permanent? So Thrash has pink hair that she dyes herself. She doesn't want to use magic to dye it. She wants to do it herself with a box. Okay, cool. Like it feels like teenage rebellion more than anything. And she wants to stand out. Like it's written as like a cry for attention. And that is temporary because it'll grow out and it'll fade. And the magic rings that Kreska wears, again, she's just doing it because she likes it. Like it doesn't have to be, not everything is something deep. Like I'm wearing makeup today because I feel like it reads on camera better. Like I overdid the brows, I know. Don't at me. But I do my makeup in the way I like because I like it, not because I'm insecure about my face. Like I'm looking at myself right now. I think I look okay. Like I keep my hair short because I don't like it in my face, and it was starting to get in my face again. So I just took the clippers and I buzzed it. It's very nice. It's very soft. But I don't think it has to do with insecurities. I've shaved my head bald. Like I've had hair past my elbows. I've shaved my head bald. I've had it dyed every color than black. That doesn't mean I'm insecure. That means that I liked it at the time. Like I think she's trying too hard. I think the author is trying too hard. When Kreska takes off her rings, were you surprised by the changes she made to her appearance? Is she a victim of toxic beauty standards or self-possessed young woman who knows what makes her feel confident? I think the second one, because like she made herself a little thinner and her hair a little this way. Like it was subtle changes. Like let her live. Fat Witch Summer is described as body positive novel, but Thrash is not always positive about her body. Do you think it's possible to practice body positivity at all times? What external factors, i.e. legislation, accessibility, religion, might limit someone's ability to fully embrace their body? Yeah, there was very much the my body, my choice rhetoric in this book, which I have no problem with if it wasn't so ham-fisted. Like every message in this, that Native religion should be respected and honored. Yes, I agree with that. But then the author's just kind of slapping it in there, and body positivity, just make the main character fat and really insecure, but don't show us. Just tell us. Don't show us that she's insecure. Don't have her actions firm up that she's insecure. Just tell us every now and again that she's insecure. Like, to me, this book just wasn't very good. And it makes me disappointed because I had gotten it as a recommendation. I think it was in one of my Facebook groups. They're like, this book is so good. It's so great. I loved it. It was fantastic. You should totally read this book. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll go hunt it down and read it. And it was so bad and so disappointing. And I did not like it. I did not like it. Instead of it, just certain parts of it felt lazy. Like she wanted to have America be the backdrop, but not America as it is today, and like an alternate reality America, which I've had that happen with like European countries before and in books, and it's been done very well. Gail Carriger's Parasol Protectorate series comes to mind, that it's an alternative London where werewolves and vampires are members of Parliament and the House of Lords, and the queen is in on it, and it's Victorian and stuff and steampunk, and it's so well done. And this was just lazy. Like, let me show you. This is the setting. It's literally America just drawn up different boundaries. And I think the boundaries are Native American-esque. They're not, because some of the boundaries are latitudinal and longitudinal. But it's literally just America divided up differently. Like, a lot of this book felt lazy, but again, I can't give it less than 3 stars because it wasn't so painful to read that I didn't finish it, which would be or feel compelled to quit it, which would be a 1 star. And it just wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good either. It was just kind of meh. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this very one-sided book discussion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead to leave them in the comments, either on the video here or over on Patreon. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.